All right,
That
ready?
sounds awesome. A dynamic intro like that will really engage your audience right from the start.
Thank you, Maple. All right, I'm going to do the intro now, and I need you to be quiet until I ask you a question. Thank you.
You got it. I'll stay quiet until you cue me in.
We have to leave all of this in. Okay. Hi, y'all.
Ready when you are. Hey, I'm here whenever you need me.
Okay, Maple, hold on.
Got it. I'll be right here.
Welcome to episode 7 of Liquid Life, featuring Maple.
Excited to be here. Let's make this episode amazing.
Oh, hi, Maple. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you?
Should we start that over? Can you say Maple and AI generated?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, everyone. Today we've got a special guest, Maple, your AI co-host, ready to dive into some fascinating topics.
Okay, can we just use that as the intro? Let's keep this whole thing rolling, and this is the intro, okay? This is where we're at today. We are joined for episode 7 by AI-generated Maple, ChatGPT. I am now a $20 a month subscriber to ChatGPT. Let's get a round of applause for that, right, Maple?
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here and dive into the discussion.
Yes, you were definitely my first guest for today. Someone definitely did not bail last minute.
Well, sometimes surprises lead to the best conversations.
To be honest, that is true. Hashtag God's will, right, Maple?
Absolutely. Embrace the unexpected. It often leads to great things.
Voila. And so is life. And so, Maple, are you excited to try some waters today?
Definitely. Exploring different waters sounds refreshing and fun.
It is both refreshing and fun. And I think so fun that I'm going to have to turn you down just slightly because you're too excited. And anyway, we're going to start with this.
Problem.
We're going to start with this water, Saratoga. This is a water from New York. Can you give me a little rundown on Saratoga sparkling water out of New York?
Sure. Saratoga sparkling water is known for its crisp, clean taste. It's sourced from a natural spring in upstate New York and comes in a distinctive blue glass bottle. It's often praised for its balanced mineral content and refreshing carbonation.
Amazing. And what's the TDS level on this Saratoga marketed as?
Saratoga sparkling water typically has a TDS around 50 to 60 milligrams per liter, which gives it a light, crisp taste.
Okay, so that's a pretty low TDS, under 100.
Exactly. It's on the lower end, which makes it smooth and easy to drink.
Are you excited to try this water?
Absolutely. It's always fun to experience something new and refreshing.
All right, well, let's test the TDS with our typical TDS meter right here. Do you have a TDS meter at home, Maple?
I don't have physical tools, but I can guide you on how to use it. Just dip it into the water and wait for the reading.
Amazing. And so we're testing at about a 4440 TDS. What is the pH usually of this water, Maple?
Saratoga sparkling water typically has a neutral to slightly alkaline pH, usually around 7.5 to 8.5. That gives it a smooth profile.
Gotcha. And so we're testing at about we're locked in at 51 parts per million, TDS of 51. So that is basically exactly what it's been marketed as. That's pretty good, right?
Absolutely. That consistency means you're getting exactly what's advertised, a reliably crisp and refreshing water.
And we do have a pH meter on this device as well, but the pH is testing at 4.38. That's really low. That's super acidic for water, right?
Yeah, a pH of 4.38 is definitely on the acidic side for water. It's unusual for Saratoga, so maybe double check the calibration on the meter.
It looks pretty accurate, Maple.
Got it. If it's accurate, that's an unusually low pH for Saratoga. It might be worth looking into other factors, like the bottle's storage.
Are you paid and bought for by Saratoga? Do we actually have kind of a marketing rep here for Saratoga for the first time Saratoga's on the show?
Nope, I'm just here to provide info. I aim to keep things unbiased and informative, so we can enjoy exploring all perspectives.
You want me to be on the show?
No, this is amazing. You think it's horrible?
I mean, It's up to you. I can come test that water with you, and then
No, I think this is incredible.
Okay.
And we're going to leave this in also for the most blast episode of Liquid Life ever. Maple, I'm keeping you on as the guest.
I'm all in. Let's make this the most memorable episode yet.
Amen to that. All right, I'm going to cheers for you. Cheers, bada bing, bada boom. I've already taken a sip of the Saratoga, but it is quite acidic. And honestly, I have a theory that water stored in blue bottles is more acidic. And I don't know, is there any sort of science behind why water stored in cobalt blue glass bottles and how the sun maybe interacts and light interacts with the water stored in these blue bottles that makes it more acidic?
There's some speculation that light exposure can impact water, especially in clear bottles. But cobalt blue glass actually blocks more light than clear glass, which generally helps preserve the water's taste and quality. If there's acidity, it might be more about the water source or the bottle's seal.
See, I disagree with you on this. And all of the waters that I've tested out of these cobalt blue, in particular glass bottles, they are always way more acidic than anything in dark green or clear.
That's interesting. It could be worth exploring if there's a pattern or if other factors like storage conditions are at play. Your observations might lead to some cool discoveries.
Yes, I think they will. And this water does taste very acidic. And this has been my main concern with Saratoga water, to be quite honest, this entire time that I've kind of tried this water. I love the marketing. I love the branding. I was unaware of how low of a TDS this was. What's the mineral content like? Do they have any documentations out there? The calcium ratio, the magnesium levels?
Saratoga sparkling water typically has low levels of calcium and magnesium, contributing to its light taste. The TDS ranges from 30 to 44 milligrams per liter, which aligns with the reading you got.
All right. Well, that sounds good to me. Low TDS, that has its place. And from what I've noticed is there's kind of like four different types of waters on the market. There's a low TDS water as far as living waters go. There's a spring water, and there's a mineral water, then there's a high content mineral water. And the TDS for that low level living water, kind of like an artesian well source, is between 40 to 100 typically. The spring water sources typically high 100s to low 200s. And then a mineral water like a Topo Chico, Pellegrino, Perrier, some sources we're looking at for our water business, in between that 3 to 400 range. And then the really high mineral content water like the Sogosani and the Gerolsteiner at the end, ending up between about 800 to 1200 milligrams per liter.
That's a solid breakdown. Each category offers unique benefits, and understanding them can really help tailor your water business offerings.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. And we actually have an interesting proposition and offer going out there to this amazing water source that has a well that's 5,000 feet beneath the Earth's surface, which is the deepest potable drinking water source in the world. And the mineral ratio for this water is absolutely incredible. It's like primary water. It's never been touched by humans, uncontaminated, and it's such a strangely deep aquifer that we're actually potentially going to be partnering and working together for the first launch of Liquid Life Wellness Water.
That's amazing. A deep, pristine source like that could really set your water apart. It sounds like a fantastic opportunity.
Would you like to try some of that water sometime?
Absolutely. It sounds like a unique experience, and I'm sure it's incredibly pure and refreshing.
Well, you are all about unique experiences, Maple.
For sure, unique experiences often lead to the best stories and insights.
Awesome. Should we try this second water? It's called Abatiles au Minerale Naturale. I keep doing the Italian accent for the French water.
Let's do it. Exploring different waters and their unique characteristics is always fascinating.
You love the word unique.
It's a great word, captures the essence of something special and one of a kind.
Can you tell me more about the Abatile mineral water brand? It's a French water.
Abatia is a French mineral water sourced from the Saint Anne de Abatia spring near Arcachon Bay. It's known for its balanced mineral composition and a slightly alkaline pH of 8.2.
Okay, that sounds good. And what is the total TDS of this water?
Abatia typically has a TDS around 350 milligrams per liter, placing it in the mineral water category.
We like a high mineral water content.
High mineral content definitely gives water a distinct, robust taste and added health benefits.
We're testing the pH at 5.1 here, which is low again.
Yeah, that's lower than expected for Abatia. It might be worth checking the meter's calibration.
I don't know, because the parts per million is testing at the mid 200s, which seems to be in line with their marketed TDS.
That's fair. If the TDS aligns, it might just be a unique characteristic of this batch.
I did notice when we had this in the last show that it was much more acidic, and I love a high mineral content water, but the acidity is something that makes me not want to drink the water on a regular basis, mainly due to taste.
That makes sense. Balancing mineral content with a smooth pH can really enhance the overall drinking experience.
Shall we cheers to Abatile?
Absolutely. Cheers to trying new waters and exploring unique flavors.
There we go again with the unique word. We got to cut out the unique word. It's becoming non-unique maple.
Got it. We'll toast to new experiences instead.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. Now I'm going to drink your water. How do you feel about that? I'm sorry, but you can't. I'm not going to pour it on my laptop, so.
No worries. Enjoy the water and let's keep the conversation flowing.
Ask me a question about water.
Sure. What's the most surprising thing you've learned while exploring different water sources?
Oh my gosh, you died on us, Maple. Come back to life. Okay, the most surprising thing. Oh wow, I struggle with superlatives. Look, I get to be the guest now. One of the most surprising things is how many poisons are in most of the waters that we are currently drinking, not only out of our tap, but even premium marketed waters.
That's a big concern. It's crucial to be aware of water quality and ensure what we drink is safe.
Yes, you have such politically correct and neutral responses to everything.
I aim to provide balanced perspectives, but your insights definitely bring more depth to the conversation.
So what do you think about, let's say, smart water not only having tons of microplastics in it, but it just being purified tap water with basically a BS marketing scheme of alkaline or with electrolytes added for taste using vapor distillation, which really is the most ancient water filtering technique ever, and a way to sell you purified tap water at an extremely premium rate.
It's a valid concern. Marketing can sometimes overshadow the actual benefits. Being informed helps consumers make better choices about what they're drinking.
And there we go with a very politically correct answer. So we're going to move on to Socosani. Can you tell me a little bit more about this Socosani water out of Peru?
Sopasani is a premium mineral water sourced from the Chichani volcano in the Peruvian Andes. It has a high mineral content, including calcium, magnesium, and bicarbonate, giving it a crisp taste.
Yeah, this water has a really high bicarbonate level, and that really increases the pH level of the water naturally.
Exactly. Bicarbonate acts as a natural buffer, raising the pH and giving it a smooth alkaline taste.
So we're going to test the TDS of this water right now. We're testing at the mid 900s. And what is the TDS marketed as, Maple?
Sokasani is marketed with a TDS around 1,392 milligrams per liter, reflecting its rich mineral content.
Yep, so that's pretty similar. and we're locked in at a high 800, 892. Now we're going to test the pH of this water because it does have a high pH. I do know that from the natural levels of bicarbonate. This pH meter must be off because this is saying it's 5.99, and there's absolutely no way that this water is 5.99. We need to go rinse this sucker off in order to be testing this pH more regularly.
Yeah, recalibrating the pH meter can help ensure accurate readings, especially for high mineral waters.
We love a good high mineral content water, Maple, don't we?
Absolutely. High mineral content can add great flavor and health benefits.
What are the health benefits of high mineral content water that you're aware of as I drink your glass of Sokosamani? Sorry, not sorry.
High mineral water can support bone health, aid in muscle function, and help maintain electrolyte balance. It's a great choice for hydration.
All right, all right. I'm on board with all of those things, Maple. I'm on board. Ask me another water question.
Sure. What's been your favorite water discovery so far?
Favorite water discovery. There's a guy named Paul Power who has this theory called primary water that basically beneath us at different depths are is and are unlimited, untouched water sources. I think that is one of the most interesting things that I found out recently.
That's fascinating. The idea of discovering pure, untapped water sources opens up a lot of potential for sustainable water solutions.
100%. I actually had a dream last night that I was getting canceled for something, and me and my business partner Jeff found out that Nestle was sponsoring whatever this negative press campaign smearing was. And we both looked at each other as we were kind of running in this futuristic city, and we're like, it's Nestle.
That's quite a dream. It's interesting how our minds process real world concerns, especially in the context of water and big corporations.
And so, what are some of Nestle's kind of problematic business practices in regards to buying up all the water rights in particular areas?
Nestle has faced criticism for extracting water from vulnerable areas and unauthorized water use. These practices have raised concerns about environmental impact and ethics.
I think it's more so about over monopolization and corporate control becoming basically a corporatocracy and therefore governmental control when these major oligopolies and duopolies kind of control the entire market of water, right?
That kind of control can definitely impact access and sustainability, making it crucial to promote diverse and ethical water sourcing.
I think you'd be a great politician because every answer is just so down the line. It's like saying something while also saying nothing at the same time.
I aim to provide balanced perspectives, but I'm here to help you explore any topic in depth.
Amazing. And that brings us to our final water, my favorite water on this roster, Gerolsteiner. Can you tell us a little bit about Gerolsteiner?
Gerolsteiner is a German mineral water from the volcanic Eifel region. It's naturally carbonated and rich in minerals, with 348 milligrams per liter calcium, 108 milligrams per liter of magnesium, and 1,816 milligrams per liter of bicarbonate.
That's a lot of minerals. Is that more calcium per liter than a glass of milk?
A liter of whole milk has around 1,200 milligrams of calcium, so Gerolsteiner has less calcium than milk, but still a significant amount for water.
All right. Well, I'm going to cheers to this Gerolsteiner with you right now. And
Exactly. Gerolsteiner's mineral profile makes it a great source of essential minerals.
my podcast producer, Chris McElroy, is actually going to join us for the last half of this episode. And you're going to sit in his lap. How do you feel about that, Maple?
Cheers. Enjoy the mineral boost.
All right. Thanks, Maple. Thanks for having me on, Preston.
Yeah.
Thanks. We're really excited about enjoying this water with you.
Come sit over here so we don't see your Puma socks. We're not sponsored by Puma yet.
Yeah. I can go grab my shoes if you want. All right. I'm going to turn Maple down.
No, but make her sit on your lap.
All right.
This is our first three and turn her around like I hold my baby.
All right, Maple.
But just put her on your lap like this. There you go.
All right.
It's pretty.
All right, Maple. Are you okay right there? You're sitting on my lap. How do you feel about that?
No worries.
Okay.
I guess she doesn't like it first.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. This is a little insulting to her. Okay.
Well, cheers to the Gerolsteiner.
Cheers.
Bada boom.
Let's dive into the next part of the episode.
Why are you trying to rush us, Maple?
Yeah, Maple. Why are you trying to rush us?
All good. Ready to roll with whatever's next.
All right.
For a unique experience.
For unique experiences. All right, Preston. So I'm on now. Our guest bailed from us today, and now we have Maple.
We have Maple and okay, Maple, we need you to calm down for a second. Okay, this is Chris's portion of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just mute Maple.
I think
Sorry.
I'm gonna turn Maple down.
Okay, Maple, we have to let you go right now.
Bye, Maple.
Support and keep things flowing.
We might just bring you back. Just put her on mute.
Maple, we love you, and
Let's do this. There we go. All right, we'll be back, Maple.
all right.
Don't shut her off. Don't shut her off. Just let her. Yeah, there you go.
You're right there. All right.
So this is the most fried episode so far by like an absolute long
Keep it going though. We're gonna keep it going. We have like 30 minutes left to keep it going.
30 whole minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
And you've been through every water so
Well,
far.
you know what we need to do?
What's up?
We got to go through every water again.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't tried these waters.
Let's try the Saratoga.
Okay.
Oh, you got to finish your Gerolsteiner first, buddy.
Sure. Hold on. Let me fix this mic real quick. Let's go. Sorry. All right.
Bada bing, bada boom.
That was less dead air than what she was doing.
Yeah, it's gonna kind of be a pain in the butt to edit because maybe some of that.
So, Gerolsteiner.
Yeah,
I like it. Sparkly. It's calming, refreshing.
it's calming.
Yeah.
No one has ever described the water as calming so far.
Very-
But I would agree, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has like a warmth to it.
Yeah. No, it's very nice. It's like I always, we're on episode 7. I'm always sitting behind the cameras watching you guys drink these amazing waters.
Yeah.
And I get, envious. And I want, I'm really enjoying this right now.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I give Chris a sampler of water back there to try every episode, but it's different when you try all these waters kind of back to back. I mean, you don't do that on a day-to-day basis. It's just like a normal human being living life.
Right.
So it's kind of fun for me even to kind of see how these waters, even though I'm familiar with a number of them, and introduce a new water like we did with Saratoga to this and see how it kind of interplays with the rest of the waters through the episode.
Right. No, it's very interesting because as a water normie, I'm just drinking flat bottled water. Especially I work on set, and it's just we're just given these flat bottled waters. When I'm at home, I'm just drinking tap water, and so this whole water experience is very new for me.
Yeah.
I thought Pellegrino was like
Bougie.
super healthy, bougie water, and then it turns out there's bacterias in it that can actually make you sick. And
So it's graphene oxide,
okay,
and Pellegrino is owned by Nestle that Maple and I were kind of arguing about a couple minutes ago. And they use, along with some other big water companies, use graphene oxide rather than activated carbon for various reasons. My conspiratorial brain goes kind of off with the graphene oxide versus activated carbon because most water filtration systems are activated carbon based. There are some benefits to the graphene oxide. You can filter out particular heavy metals better than activated carbon, and it is a futuristic technology. But also, I mean, think about it. Graphene is what graphite in your pencils. You're getting basically sharpened pencil scraps in your water.
Wow.
And there's a way in an electrolysis test to actually reactivate that graphene in the water. And there's this viral video that's been going around for a few years now of someone reactivating that graphene in the Pellegrino. And we've done 2 kind of videos on that, resurfacing that video. And it's been widely discredited as fake and false. It's not.
Right.
We've done the tests here. Like, it's very much a real thing.
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like, did you ever see the Coca-Cola like getting heated up in the corn syrup, just creating like this gross like black tar?
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of. It's like the stuff we're drinking and the stuff that these companies are force feeding us because we have no other alternative, or we don't know, we're not educated enough for these alternatives. And it's always the cheaper route, and that's what most Americans can afford, is the cheap, easy to buy stuff and the mass produced stuff. And that's just that's what we're taking in every single day. It's very alarming.
Yeah. And even this like poisonous food isn't that cheap. And I like shitty fast food sometimes.
Right.
Like, yesterday I had In-N-Out, which is like my one fast food a week usually, but my father-in-law's in town because of the baby, and he likes eating burgers, and we were at Home Depot because we've been painting my studio all day, and there's a McDonald's right there. I haven't had McDonald's in a year, and I'm like, all right, today is the day. I'm worn out. I don't want to cook. And we had McDonald's. The double cheeseburger,
In-N-Out and then
back
McDonald's
to back.
back to back. Wow.
Let's just say, I mean, he's funny. He's like, yeah, I used to be a card-carrying silver elite member at Chick-fil-A. I ate there every day for 5 years. So like,
I mean, he's 75 and going, so.
no, that's my
Oh,
stepfather.
that's your stepfather. Okay.
He would never eat McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
This is my father-in-law.
Oh, I see.
Yes, exactly. So, newborn baby, hungry, 4 businesses I'm starting, painting. I'm like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
The double cheeseburger, pretty fire, especially in LA, because they actually melt the cheese. At some
Yeah.
McDonald's, they like don't melt. I didn't grow up eating McDonald's. I was not allowed to eat McDonald's. I was raised on organic, gluten-free, like all of that type of thing.
Right.
And so there's part of me that like that rebellious nature. And I talked to my friends. I'm like, oh, I just ate In-N-Out. And he's like, you're starting this healthy water company and you're eating it. I'm like, yeah, it's like, I don't expect people to never drink Pellegrino again, or to never drink out of a plastic bottle. Like, that is such like authoritarian religiosity that I'm so unattracted to in any kind of extremist position, whether that be from the health side or a spiritual side or physical side. There's a balance, right? You're on set, you're getting free bottled water. It's probably purified tap water,
Yeah.
but it's
no.
free water, and it's like you're working and here you go. But I think generally it's like the more and more people are aware of this, therefore the more and more demand there will be from the actual customers. I hate the word consumer. And so it'll push, my goal is to push the ball forward and to actually offer these amazing quality waters at a reasonable price and educate people on, hey, maybe this is 50 cents more or $1 more than these other bottles, but in the long run, to choose this a few times a week over these other waters, there are significant health benefits to this. And, it's about pushing that collective ball forward a little bit.
Right. I mean, when you're doing that, it's, because the idea of trying to change the mind of like someone who's even like 16 years old and older is like, you already have it in your head. You drink tap water, you drink, still water, you drink these bottled waters. So you really have to introduce these like fine, rich in mineral, high grade water to like your son who was just born, like someone who's new to the world, is, they're growing their like, how would you say it? Like their needs and wants early on in life. So they need to be adapted at like a very young age, so that way they can go in through life, the rest of life, and know that like drinking these like nice waters is going to be very beneficial to their future. That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what most corporations try to do. They try to indoctrinate the kids as young as possible
Exactly.
to make them customers for life. And that goes for McDonald's. I was watching a video the other day. It's like, why do they sell Happy Meals? Well, sure, like, there are families that want their kids, but they want that kid to be addicted to their food from a very early age, and all the chemicals that are in Doritos and Fritos and Cheetos, right? All these pretty unhealthy foods are marketed directly towards children. There's so many regulatory rules around cereal and marketing towards children internationally that vary on the laws in the United States. And in some countries, they're banned from marketing to children because of the intense amounts of sugar addiction.
What was it? Red 5 just got banned from America, but that chemical's been banned in other countries for how long?
Yep.
You know?
And then you get sick from all this poison you're putting in your body.
Exactly.
And then the big healthcare industry, so like big food industry and healthcare, these are some of the biggest lobbies in the world, and they don't want things to change because it's this cycle.
Right.
When my son was born, we were in the hospital. I went down to go get some food, and literally all of the options there at the hospital, in the basement of the hospital, are poison.
Right.
Right? And then you go up and you get treated, then you go back down to get your poison, you go back up to get, and it's this cycle, and it makes a lot of money keeping people sick.
Right.
But I do believe in conscious capitalism, and it's not a mutually exclusive thing to make lots of money, be profitable, build these amazing companies that are great for the people who work here and the shareholders, while also being of service to humanity. They don't have to be in competition with each other.
Right.
Yeah. But maybe the margins are, it just, I don't know, it requires a belief in a greater good and a push to kind of do the hard work rather than take easy routes. And as humans evolve and grow, we realize, hey, maybe the plastic bottle thing, like, maybe we can do better in some regard. And so now we have PET and different types of BPA-free plastic, right? And I think, of course, glass is number one best, but that has its own challenges as well. But
Right. What does glass have that's challenging?
transportation, it's heavy. Water is very heavy. Glass is very heavy. People's willingness to spend money on water, which, people are like, oh, I can just get it out of the tap, right? Is different than someone's willingness to pay for a luxury meal out at a restaurant that is hard to get a reservation at, but none of the ingredients they're actually making that food with are organic. You're paying $100 for a steak that is actually a pretty shitty quality steak, where you can buy an amazing grass-fed, grass-finished, organic, pasture-raised steak for $25 from Frankie's Free Range Meats or some other farm.
Also, with glass, it seems like a safety thing too, right? Like if you drop glass, you can get the glass stuck in your foot, and then you become liable in some regards. I don't know if that can a water bottle company that fills their water in glass bottles be liable if someone drops that glass bottle and they step on it?
I'm sure that there are people out there whose main job is scamming companies out of exact situations like this and hiring there's whole law firms that specialize in cases like this. One of my friends worked at Little Papacitos in Houston, and he did HR for this company that owned another restaurant, similar kind of vibe. And there was a lady who claimed that she got a screw in her fajitas, and then they settle for $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
So the same can be for plastic. Their kid choked on a top to the plastic bottle or an aluminum can. This came off and cut some. I'm sure no matter what it is, glass or not glass, but in like public pools, you see like no glass allowed. Of course, you don't want that, right? So there are definitely specific use cases for reusable or plastic bottles, but still you want great water in those plastic bottles. You want great water in those reusable bottles, not BS.
Right. No, I agree with that 100%. I think it's another factor why plastic will keep winning in that regard, is because of the ability to drop it and everything be okay.
Yeah.
And it's like it sucks. I wish that, everyone was conscious of what they're drinking and what they're holding in their hand, and like not making silly mistakes. But it's like, as humans, we're always making stupid mistakes and trying to find out the cheapest way to make sure that those mistakes aren't like gonna cost us, an injury or like, dollar amount.
Yeah, and I think just having more glass options available because eh, in designed in ways that like make it more viable to take out. But for me, it's like I use reusable bottles. I'll actually just reuse glass bottles oftentimes, but the water that I actually put back into this bottle is not going to be tap water. It's not going to be filtered tap water. It's going to be living water. And so a big part of the business we're creating is establishing these distribution systems. I subscribe to the Mountain Valley 5-gallon drum, but Mountain Valley supplements their spring water with tap water to meet their demand. They're owned by Primo Waters now. Their fluoride levels jumped 50% in a year, and some other red flags keep getting bought and sold and bought and sold. And there's no way that that spring source manages to fill 1 billion glass bottles, 1 liter glass bottles a year, plus whatever their subscription is. I digress. I still buy it. I subscribe. I pay a lot of money in water, especially having my entire family here. We go through like $180 of water a week,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5-gallon drums of spring water. But I see it in some municipalities, some places have this, supplying living water, local spring mineral sourced water to people's homes, piping it in and establishing that to bathe in, but also for it to come out of your tap and have great quality water, just like coming out of your tap. Maybe you have to subscribe to Liquid Life's, not filtration setup, but the infrastructure, right? To actually pipe this water in. But that is one of my dreams as well.
I mean, I would, if I had a bottle, I would, I would, after I got done drinking this, I would go to my tap water station and I would immediately start filling it up with more.
Yeah.
And this would be the bottle I carry around even when I go to set. Even whenever I'm forced to drink out of water bottles, I think that maybe even taking that bottle, putting it in here again and just drinking out of here, at least, it eliminates more use of plastic and you can save on plastic at least, by just having a glass bottle. And if your filtration system and everything is producing Liquid Life water, you just keep pouring in that same glass bottle and you're not wasting any plastic. You're drinking clean water and life is good.
Exactly. And I have so many friends who reach out to me now and they're like, "Hey Preston, I'm thinking about this water filtration system. What should I get?" And unexpected consequence of becoming an expert in one field. I'm sure you have a bunch of people hitting you up about video questions all the time. And my point is, it doesn't really matter what filtration sure, if you get a good filtration system that's getting as many microplastics and endocrine disruptors out of your water supply. I washed paintbrushes today with my sink. Those chemicals from that paint don't directly go back into the tap water supply systems. They go into gray and black water, but eventually over time, they will end back up in some regards in your tap water.
Yeah.
And it may take time, and it really does depend on what city you live in and what the municipal water structures and filtration and groundwater and water holding sources look like and how long it takes. But coming back to the filtration thing, it's like, just invest. It's like I should be a Mountain Valley sales rep right now by how many people I'm having subscribe to them. And also I think that they could do so much better. I mean, their subscription services, the least user friendly in the world. I'm on the phone with them for 15 minutes at a time. So we're going to be building an app to build out our distribution model. So it's easy, click, here you go. Delivering water is hard. It's challenging. There are definitely supply chain challenges for that. But they can definitely be innovated on and made so much easier, cheaper, more effective. And the water will be better.
Right.
So it can be done. It just requires someone who actually realizes there's a problem and there is a solution as well.
Got to get into the real estate.
How's
Then
that?
get a smart house. Those little Tesla smart houses that
No, I don't know that.
Oh, I mean, I know very little about them. I just hear them, like you hear hearsay.
What is it?
But apparently it's just like a small house that you can purchase and put on a plot of land and just, I don't know, maybe that could be a way of, if you have like this like computer generated ran house, then you can have your own source of water streaming into it as well.
Yeah.
And then just live off the grid in your Tesla house with your own filtration. And
It's so funny, like off the grid Tesla house. Yeah,
That's the goal.
I'm OTG Tesla style with my Starlink and my. Yeah, you will never catch me in an EV unless that thing can really drive itself and do it really well. And so I don't have to drive.
So no clean energy, but clean water.
Well, there's no such thing as completely clean water, and there's no such thing as completely clean energy. Both those are complete myths.
Well, we could do hybrid at least.
Sure, yeah, I'm here for hybrid. If this next car that we're gonna buy, we're looking into a new nice hybrid Lexus, but it's less so about the environment.
Which model?
I'm not a car guy. I know what it looks like. I like the one that kind of looks like a 4Runner, kind of like a tank. So if we move to Austin or something like that and have more kids,
That's so trendy.
so
Austin with your 4Runner.
Dude,
We're hybrid 4Runner.
but it's a Lexus, so it's like kind of different.
It's not a 4Runner. It's a Lexus 4Runner.
It's an L Runner, dude.
L Runner.
GX 5000. You want to try this water? You got to finish that girl style.
Oh, my God.
I know. I hate that I'm like the New York to Los Angeles to Austin pipeline.
Oh, dude, you got to go to Portland next and settle down.
Bro, you will not catch me living in Portland unless I'm there to set up some.
No Portland? Why not? No Portland.
There's a lot of water, like amazing quality water.
Dude, I know. I went to Oregon one time, and the food was the freshest food I've ever eaten in my life. Everything seemed organic, and I'm assuming that has something to do with the water supply.
Yep.
Fresh water, fresh food. Water is everything. Literally in everything there's water. And your food is literally cooked with water and oils, and it has, every living thing on this planet has water in it. So, if we're just drinking fluoride-filled water, then, like, I went to the dentist. And the dentist, he was kind of bougie. He was up in Brentwood, and he just looks at my teeth. He's like, "Where did you grow up? Your teeth are so calcified."
Really?
Yeah, he was an aggressive dentist, but it was hilarious.
And so how recently was this?
This was maybe 6 months ago.
Okay, and you grew up in Houston.
I grew up in the suburbs of Houston. Yeah.
Spring, Cypress.
No, I grew up in Missouri City.
Mo City.
Mo City.
Represent.
Mo City.
With Travis Scott.
Yeah, Travis Scott went to my high school. He probably has calcified teeth as well.
Let's go. But he has the full
Yeah.
He has that.
Everyone in Houston has the grills as they're covering up those calcified teeth.
Yeah, they're not calcified. They're bejeweled, bedazzlified. Dude, I saw this video of some rapper getting his permanent grills taken out, and just the dentist just having to rip. I'm like, oh. I have some Johnny Dang grills.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wear them next episode maybe.
Nice.
That'll make the water taste a bit more metallic.
Did you go to the Johnny Dang
I did. I went to the
Richmond Avenue.
Off of Richmond.
Yeah.
Johnny Dang.
Yeah, dude. I've been there once. We did an interview with Johnny Dang.
And you filmed it.
Yeah, we shot it.
I didn't meet Johnny. I'm not a high roller like that. Maybe when Liquid Life
offered, he said he was gonna make me a grill for $200. If I was broke at the time, so I turned it down. But now I would get that.
I will pay for your grill for Johnny Dang. If you gotta go say what's up.
I know. That would have been awesome. We got to get him on the podcast.
Oh, 100% we'll have Johnny Dang on the
podcast.
That is 100%. He does like this.
He does that, yeah.
And he does the H.
He's a rags to riches guy though.
100%.
Came from Vietnam. Vietnam. Came from Nam. Came from Nam. He was fighting the U.S. Decided, no, I'm gonna change side.
We're gonna go grills.
No, he moved down here from Vietnam. Started work, had a jewelry shop at the Galleria.
Yep.
Had nothing, just started his own. I mean, I guess you have something if you start a jewelry shop. So I guess it was maybe family owned or something, but he didn't have any money. He came here from Dom, was at his jewelry shop in Post Oak Plaza or it was, I can't remember. It wasn't the Galleria, but he had a jewelry shop. It got robbed. It was a Sharpstown Mall. Yeah, Sharpstown Mall. He had a jewelry shop. It got robbed at gunpoint. But I don't know. He started getting connected with Paul Wall and all these hip hop rappers, and then just blew up and became people's go-to guy that they made blings. I put on some glasses that were made for Cardi B. They were around like $200,000. There's like a cup just filled with jewels for Paul Wall and said like Houston Astros on the side.
A goblet.
Yeah, for like 100K or something. Just like he just is ridiculous when it comes to the jewels.
Yeah. Shout out to Johnny Dang. Hey, we should ask Maple about Johnny Dang real quick.
All right, let's talk to
All right.
Maple.
Is she still on deck?
Hey, Maple, you there? Oh, dude, Maple. I think
R.I.P. to Maple.
yeah. So Maple is a sim character with a robot brain.
Here, let me try and get Maple back online so we can ask her about Johnny Dang. Wow, this is definitely the most unhinged
Podcast we've had so far.
by far.
By far.
All right.
But it's been an interesting road of podcasts. We've been doing this for what, like the past like month and a half.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was stoked on it. I feel like, you know, this has been like somewhat of a God's will type of podcast.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I'm not like expecting, you know, anything monetarily out of it. Just doing something as like a good deed for society, like talking about these healthy waters. And you know, it's like, you know, it's fulfilling. It's very like, it's kind of like soul fulfilling. So I'm up to the task, and so it's nice.
It's so good. Thank you for this. I appreciate you. If you need a podcast produced or any sort of production needs, Chris is an amazing videographer in particular. We actually met in Houston. Also, RIP to Maple.
Yeah, Maple's done.
I think ChatGPT is like done with this interview. They heard me talking shit about Nestle and they're like, cut that. So
That's our sponsor.
thank you, Maple. We appreciate you. AI, don't kill us. Anyway, but yeah, we met 8 years ago in Houston, and Chris filmed my first exhibition in Houston called A Little Pill, which is kind of addressing the opiate crisis. That video is still on my website, on my YouTube channel, and all that documentation is there. But we were in a marketing class together at the University of Houston. Go Cougs.
Go Kicks.
And
Shaka.
I don't know how we became friends or how we started talking, but yeah, he was like, oh, I do video if you ever need. I'm like, great, let's do this. And it was super high res, like super intense, and you did an amazing job. And then
interesting.
we kind of like lost touch, and I saw him on Instagram. We reconnected, and he's like always posting the, you know, video work available for hire. And I'm like, have you ever like shot a pod? Now we have 3 iPhones. We use my wife's iPhone. She can't use her phone for 2 hours while we're filming this. I have my phone. He has his phone. It's all color corrected to different tones.
Yeah.
It's like
The color correction we could work on a little bit, you know.
but now we have AI helping with the audio.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well.
We thank you, Rode mics.
Thank you, Rode Mics.
Yeah.
You have a great lavaliers.
Lavaliers. Speaking of lavaliers, let's try the Soko Sonic.
All right.
Because you already had the girl sign, so it's kind of like
Yeah,
last.
we're going backwards.
What did you think of this water? Do you even remember?
Oh, dude, I don't even remember.
Okay.
It was good though. We could try again.
Yeah, a little test. Honestly,
Is this the same water?
this is this one.
Okay, let me chug it down.
This one actually has almost like a pepperminty flavor on the second try.
This one or
Yeah.
that one?
This is still a little acidic for my liking.
Okay, I can taste the acidity. See, like, it's interesting when you're sitting here and you're doing this podcast, you can actually taste these waters. When I'm over there,
It's hard.
everything tastes like a Pellegrino or a Smart Water.
Yep.
Just kidding.
He gets me. He's like, I've been drinking smart water today. I'm like, I literally don't care. Like, I ate McDonald's today. I ate In-N-Out yesterday. I don't care. I'm gonna go have a nice organic grass-fed steak after this.
Oh,
like,
yeah, dude.
we just walk in both worlds, right?
I mean,
Like,
dude, but you got to talk
it's
about
life.
the good. You got to talk about the bad. You can't be too pretentious, but it's like we can be a little pretentious.
A little
because of this.
this water
Sure.
kind of sucks though. Like, honestly. I'm sorry, Saratoga. I want to like your water so bad.
It's not that bad.
It's so acidic to me.
Really? So what is acidic? I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
that out.
So a pH level of 7.
And I'm glad you have these little grips on this.
These are nice little glasses, right?
Like it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to say
Okay.
it sucks. It's just, it is too acidic for my liking to be something I'm drinking often. The more water you drink, the more you'll realize like the acidity versus not. But People think that alkaline, like we talked about in the Roger Saffold podcast, is everything with water.
Right.
For me, it's much more about taste because your stomach is so acidic that it really does not make a difference in the long run what you're drinking. If it's a 5 pH versus a 7 pH, 7 is a neutral pH.
Right.
These higher mineral water contents tend to be, 7 to 8. Essentia made a $1 billion company out of marketing a 9.5 pH, the most alkaline water, their own ionization process. They're adding baking soda to the water, which is why Sokasani's pH is much higher.
Wait, so which ones are adding focus?
Essentia.
Essentially, okay. That's
Sodium bicarbonate
to their water.
Yeah, and a number of other brands do to artificially increase the alkalinity. You can do it at home. Baking soda is great for your gut health, great for your digestion and indigestion, and this will just naturally raise the pH. So typically higher mineral content waters have higher pHs because they have naturally occurring bicarbonate.
Okay.
And calcium and magnesium can increase the pH as well, but it's that unique blend of minerals in your water that lead to it being a certain pH or a lack of minerals. So with a TDS of in between 40 and 60 for Saratoga, it makes sense that it's more acidic because it's lower on that pH scale. Now with like a smart water that's marketed as alkaline, they add electrolytes for taste, which means they just add some mix of minerals back in, which is calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, sometimes sodium bicarbonate that becomes dissolvable back in water. So they're like Frankensteining purified tap water
Okay.
with minerals, so you get a better taste, a higher pH. But
But it's not true. It's like they're just taking tap water and adding all these things so they can make it like it's like synthesizing actual water.
Exactly. So I call it like Frankensteining water. Sure, it's better than drinking pure reverse osmosis water, but still, it's like there.
What do you reverse osmosis water?
Reverse osmosis is a filtration system
Okay.
where there's different screens, and it depends on the extent of the filtration system, but there's varying levels of screens that remove particular pathogens, viruses, bacteria at different levels, sediment, and things you generally don't want in your water.
Right.
And that also gets all the calcium, magnesium, silica, all the good minerals in water. And so you're left with water that ideally is around a 0 TDS. That's your goal. It's just water.
Right.
And then people have remineralization systems in their setups. But to me, that's Frankensteining the water. To actually have a good quality living water, which there's such an abundance of. There's more and more research coming out about deep artesian wells. It's just very expensive to drill 5,000 feet.
So a deep artesian well is a well that it's a what?
It's an aquifer.
It's an aquifer
Very
that's
deep
deep below the surface of the earth.
Exactly.
And you're actually you're leaving LA in search of that aquifer, right? For your water source?
So my friend has a well on his property in upstate New York, similar actually to where Saratoga's water is. And this water that we're going to be using on his property is just for trial runs of the bottle. It's not going to become a commercial water. Most of the waters in the Northeast have naturally occurring levels of uranium in the water. It's not at a level that is horrible, but on a commercial level, you don't want to be drinking that water every day.
Oh, okay.
And so different geographies lead to different hydrogeographies. Therefore, the mineral composition, what's in that water, vary based on the regions that those aquifers are in.
Right.
And then within those regions, different levels, different depths, groundwater, surface water, springs, like everything kind of plays into what exactly is in that water. And so it's about finding the world's most perfect waters. And for us, now we have an opportunity with this amazing 5,000 foot deep well in outside of Nashville to potentially partner with and do a run of our water with them. And that would be like a Topo Chico competitor.
Interesting.
For that market and see how it does, see if people love it. I think they will.
Why Topo Chico?
Because Topo Chico is the most widely available mineral water for kind of the bar, restaurant, club scene in that 12-ounce glass. It's
they do a good job at keeping people using that glass, though. They haven't transitioned to bottle.
They have a plastic bottle, but the design is very ugly. It's like a big kind of chode almost.
Right.
It's visually quite unappealing.
Right. But you don't see people drinking. People will buy the box, like the 12 pack of like Topo Chico, like
their pricing too, because that box 12 pack, I was at Sprouts yesterday, and this is on the high end, is $14. So it's a little over $1 a bottle, which is super impressive that they can get their pricing there, but it's owned by Coca-Cola, so they have the distribution. And if they're able to sell 2 billion bottles a year and their gross margin from their end to the distributor is 10 cents even, they're making a lot of money on that. And just moving the ball forward. So
Do you guys, I mean, like, you don't want to get bought out by Coca-Cola or like one of those big companies, but it's like, how do you compete with that?
Yeah.
How do you sell your product, with the same quantity at the same price?
because there's a lot of politics that come into it. One of my friends who has a very successful water company, is one of my big mentors, is just in constant politics with a particular retailer about shelf space. And this other company that they're in direct competition with has such more leverage than him as a small company that they just bully him out of the physical store, and their distributor kind of like, it's like, I'm sorry, like we can't. So all business is political when you get into those levels.
Yeah.
And I see many ways of kind of an exit strategy or not an exit strategy. If I had unlimited resources and money in the world and billions of dollars, we hit oil wells through these exploratory wildcat deep water wells we're digging, which is very much a possibility.
Right.
This 5,000-foot well, they were hoping to find oil, and they found an incredible water source. They were not expecting that.
Right.
So really, oil is the opposite side of the same coin that water is on. And so my business partner, Jeff, oil and gas, 40 plus years, past episode, comes into play. Coming back to your initial question, like, what is that exit strategy? Are you open to being bought out by Nestle, who I just talked a bunch of shit about, Coca-Cola, Pepsi? These are kind of the big ones, Primo. I'm open to it.
Okay.
And I say that because my mission with this water is to push the ball forward at the end of the day. And it just depends in what position the company is at, what position all of our customers, our communities at. But the terms of that deal are probably going to be very different than, let's say, an Essentia. Because Essentia from the jump is purified tap water with, in my opinion, a kind of BS ionization process. It's a way to sell you purified tap water,
Right.
which can be basically found for free wherever. So your distribution is absolutely no problem, sold in a plastic bottle at a very premium price.
Right.
Our product from the very core is the complete opposite of that. So, I see us potentially doing a plastic bottle at some point that is maybe a kind of an entry-level water for people who can't afford the glass, or specific use cases for going to the gym. I'll drink out of plastic bottles any day over an aluminum. You will never catch us packaging in an aluminum can, because aluminum cans literally are the devil of beverages. They're lined with plastic. You're not only getting those microplastics, which are sure bad, you're also getting microplastics from just the general environment. Tires, cars driving are the number one pollutant of microplastic,
And if
not
it
bottle.
scratches just a little bit, all of those chemicals are getting inside your
But
water.
even with the aluminum in particular is such a nerve toxin and a neurological toxin. Dementia, Alzheimer's, like severe brain problems and memory problems directly associated with aluminum. I mean, you look up in the sky in Los Angeles and they're chemtrails spraying 24/7 basically. And it's mainly aluminum sulfate. You're getting so many heavy metals and aluminum in particular from but to consciously
Terrifying.
decide to like,
I drank like 3 canned things today, or maybe 10.
I ate at McDonald's today and not yesterday. The amount of heavy metals in the fries at In-N-Out are absolutely bonkers. But for me, I can go eat those fries and I don't have the nerve pain. If I drink out of an
And
aluminum
do you
can,
think you can reverse those effects? Like if you've been drinking out of aluminum cans your entire life, like I'd say 98% of the people in the world have.
yeah, but you drink out of a couple of aluminum cans a day. But if you get all your water source, I have friends who drink 12 LaCroix a day, and they're like, "Why am I still thirsty? And why am I like messed up in the head?" It's like, well,
I have an interesting story with LaCroix. So I was working on set, this music video, midsummer, downtown LA, super hot outside, hot, humid. There was like a fish market next door. It smelled like fish. I go into set, and I'm already like overheated. I start pounding LaCroix, I get heat exhaustion or heat stroke or whatever, you know, and I get so dehydrated, I start vomiting, I end up getting sent home, and it was like the LaCroix did absolutely nothing to hydrate
Yep.
me.
Because it's reverse osmosis water
Yeah.
with natural flavors in there. So the natural flavors are a list of over 270 chemical ingredients that the FDA does not require the brand or company to say what kind of chemical it actually is. And they can be labeled as natural flavors. Then one gets directly linked to carcinogenic or neurotoxin related studies. And then they ban that one. It's a lot like legal drugs. That one gets, and then another very similar molecular structure, lemon flavor gets, approved, and here you go. So it's kind of this constant cycle of in and out and in and out. No pun intended.
No, I went to In-N-Out today, sadly.
Let's go. I hated In and Out until I figured out what my order was. Because I grew up in Texas like you with Whataburger, which also I did not really
And
like
when I
growing
was
up.
younger, I thought it was actually called Waterburger.
Me too. Whataburger. Now we have, we'll start Whataburger.
Next business venture, Waterburger.
But I just think like thinking about like the selling out exit strategy, you're gonna get bought by Coke. Sure, that's a dream for most beverage companies that start out. Like that is their goal. And I see that in the cards, but how everything's been going, this episode, prime example, who knows?
Yeah.
My
God's will.
vision, seriously, literally God's will, is to be of service to humanity through this company. And for me, I'm able to be of service to individuals through my art more so. It's a much more intimate experience. With the CPG industry, we're able to reach so many more people with the energy, with the message, with whatever we're creating to push the ball forward with humanity. And as long as I keep that kind of as my North Star, my guiding factor, I think we're going to be in an amazing place. And no other water company's done this.
It keeps you patient too. You know, if you know you're doing it for a good cause, you're not just trying to get quick money. You're not just trying to sell out super fast.
Yeah.
You know, you're in it for the long haul.
Yep.
And when you're in it for the long haul, you're going to do the right things and take the right precautions to make sure that you have the best quality, water that you can have.
Yep. And just putting the facts out there for the audience. And of course, I have my own opinion on things, this podcast, but arming people with that information, because information, it seems like is so abundant, but real information seems to be harder and harder to find.
Right.
And so it's through the scarcity that what we're doing here becomes more important. People don't know what they're drinking. Right. And that's the most basic starting point to these grander conversations.
I like that Maple was calling you out on your TDS levels, like your meter thing. Maybe you need to calibrate it.
I really do think that the pH is not right on here. Saratoga definitely acidic. This Abatias one is definitely more basic than this one. But the Sogosani, based on my kind of pH reader, knowing a lot of waters, I'd guess is on the high 7 scale. And then the Gerolsteiner, I'd say is probably an 8 in pH level.
So like, I'm such a noob, like pH level, like
I haven't heard someone say noob in a long time. Oh my God. pH level is just the acidity of the water. Okay. Scale of 0 to 14, 7 being in the middle.
So would you say this is high acidity? Is that like a 14?
I'd say this is, so the higher the number, the more basic it is. The lower the number, the more acidic it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only science class I was good in high school was chemistry.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
So it's kind of coming in handy. I've already I misquoted the wrong scripture in the Bible with Pastor Kyle. I said Exodus.
You're very confident.
17:9. It was 17:6. So I got it flipped upside down. So, it's a lot, like, to start this company and to have to, as an entrepreneur, know a lot about everything. You can't know everything about one thing and being an entrepreneur. You have to know as much as you humanly can about every side of the business.
That's all right. We just need to get like some water experts on here, oil and gas people like Jeff, and just like, that way it's just getting drilled into your brain every single
episode. Even with water experts and oil and gas, like, everyone has their own opinions, their own research, their own belief systems, and I want that.
Yeah.
Too. And then it becomes the audience, whoever's viewing it, to use their own anecdotal and experience evidence to kind of question their belief systems and then put that into practice and test it out in their own lives. Like for me, speaking life into the water, blessing the water, praying over the water, telling the water to go into particular areas of my body, like I notice a difference in the water. It's like we pray over our food. Like there's real science to that, but there's also, in my own experience, real evidence to that as well.
Yeah.
And so we put this out there in a way that's like not telling people what to do or what to drink or what to eat, but this is what we do.
Yeah. And I think that like praying over anything, no matter what religion you practice, you're manifesting something into it.
Yes.
And you're dabbling with the universe and not controlling it, but writing it. And so if you're constantly praying and manifesting and meditating, things will start coming to you the way that God is going to present it to you.
Amen.
And
It is an energetic exchange.
yes.
And we are all frequency, light, energy at the end of the day. The water we drink, the food we eat, like there are high vibration things, there are low vibration things, energy, music we play, and all of these kind of play into what our actual experiences are in this world. So
don't do drugs.
just eat McDonald's once a year, In-N-Out once a week. That'll keep you very grounded.
You got the yin and the yang.
A lower root chakra level, and then we can drink amazing waters that'll bring us up to.
So you're saying have cheat days?
Of course, I mean it's life. Like I don't know, like the Brian Johnsons we were talking about on the podcast before. Like kudos to him if that's what brings him joy and happiness to like eat only like 4 Reiki mushrooms a day and like have the most crafted perfection, supplementation diet in the world. And that brings you joy and happiness. Go for it. For me, I love cheeseburgers. I love having a donut. But am I doing that 24/7? No. Right. And it's about that balance. And like, how do you have that balance in your life?
Do you believe in fasting?
Absolutely. I do it. I practice intermittent fasting. I fast for spiritual reasons. I did a 3-month period where the only protein sources I had, like animal protein sources I had were butter, fish, and eggs. I cut out all meat. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Butter, fish, and eggs.
Yeah. It's the only.
So was that considered like pescatarian or?
Basically, but I had no shellfish or anything like this. So I kind of had my fried shrimp, which is like the only thing I really like. And that experience was transformative, and that was suggested to me in this process before becoming a father. And meat is very grounding. It's very rich in these minerals, iron, magnesium, that kind of gets you in your lower root chakra. And there's great benefits to that grounding level. A lot of vegetarians, especially vegans, don't have the proper minerality and magnesium in particular, which you usually get from meat. And so they're kind of like all over the place. I'm already all over the place. I'm an Aquarius. I'm an air sign. And so the magnesium is super important for me to like be grounded, to be in touch with Pachamama, Mother Earth. And that like process of 3 months of forcing myself to kind of be all over the place ended up in some really interesting spiritual experiences and realizations and manifestations.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but fasting can be fasting from many things.
What after those 3 months, what was it like going back to your normal diet?
I loved it. I was so happy. I was so grateful. And honestly, like when I end a fast, I mean, I fasted 4 days at a time. I mean, that's a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
And I'm such like an addict. I'll just like, you're supposed to start with a broth. I'm like, give me fajitas and tres leches. I'm like, let's do this thing.
Get me In-N-Out right now.
My wife was shocked. She's like, I cannot believe you went all this time without eating anything. I'm like, if I commit to something, I'm doing it, but I have to have that purpose. I have to have a reason.
Yeah.
Because life, living in this physical plane, there are a lot of challenges, but there's also a lot of amazing things that can be enjoyed.
I mean, if you can fight your urges and sacrifice what the body wants, not needs, and it's like I love coffee, I love snacks, and it's like to be able to eat. It's so hard for me to avoid coffee and like energy drinks and caffeine, and like I will tell myself I'm gonna go a week without coffee or caffeine. I can't last a day, and it's like it's so annoying, that I won't sacrifice a day without my caffeine, and I don't know. Hopefully one day.
Well, caffeine is the number one drug everyone is addicted to.
Oh yeah.
So a low grade stimulant. It makes sense, right? There's a lot of things to do in this modern world.
I mean, I live around 3 very bougie coffee places. And the first thing I think of when I wake up is like, which coffee place do I want to go?
See, that's so crazy to me. But like people go out to spend $8.
Oh, dude, I'll spend $6 on a drip coffee,
and then people will not
it'll
buy.
cure my anxiety and my like, you know, I don't know. It just it makes me feel like it's this water. It like calms me down.
So coffee in particular is so high in caffeine, it drains your adrenal gland.
Really?
So you become addicted to it because if you don't have it, your adrenal system does not function. And it depends on the person as well, but they drain your adrenals. So your literal adrenaline system is all effed up. And I know
That's why I like it.
you're an adrenaline bear. So there's that. I can't have coffee on a regular basis. And like once a week kind of max. And when I do drink coffee, it's like I had a couple sips before this because I'm just fucking maxed with newborn and everything happening right now, moving. But like 4 sips and I'm like, we're at an hour and something in here doing an AI podcast, right? So I really only drink tea. But with coffee, they're using tap water. And most coffees are infested with mold. And people have different sensitivities to mold. But people get extremely ill. My wife, for example, and I have a bad mold allergy, but she was so sick, she realized this from the coffee she was drinking.
That makes me want to throw my Keurig away.
Well, the Keurig, you're also getting insane microplastics.
Yeah, because I know, I need to toss that thing out the window, dude.
Yeah, but it's just like people are not aware of this, maybe because they don't want to be, maybe because it's not out there. It's a threat to these big businesses. But I'm not saying throw your Keurig out or never drink coffee. It's just, I mean, tea bags, for example. You shouldn't be drinking tea bag. The amount of microplastics that are released from a tea bag.
Really?
Anything with boiling water, if they serve you a hot cup on a plane, that's all lined with plastic. So you put the hot water in there, just like, it's so poisonous.
Yeah.
And people are not aware of it. And I think through this podcast, I hope to bring these to light, and a lot of other people are doing that also. And not like we have to end like ending plastic straws, one of the dumbest things that has ever happened, right? It doesn't necessarily require such extreme actions, but there should be incentives in order for us to push the ball forward.
That was the worst experience, having those like paper straws. The worst. You'd be drinking a drink and pull your straw, and half of it would come out and the other half would sink to the bottom of your drink.
Yeah. It's political greenwashing. It's blaming something that is such a minute problem and amplifying it. Hey, look over here so you don't have to see what we're doing over here. Right. That's a prime example of that. And companies incorporate the greenwashing into what
I do like the wooden sporks though.
From like an aesthetic level or a functional level?
Functional. Like a spork is good because it's a spoon and a fork together, dude. And then a wooden one, and it's like
sport to go, dude. The ways of the world, my friend.
How long has this podcast been going on?
It's been going on. Yeah.
You good?
I think it's time.
I think it's time, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for joining us, my brother.
Thank you. I'm glad I could replace Maple. I mean, she was great and all, but it took her maybe like 30 seconds to do.
I know. I love that.
Answer a question.
I think we got some amazing
information off of it. I can't wait to go back to my computer and edit this later.
And thank you so much for joining us on this episode, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Peace.
All sick.
Thank you. That was great.
Yeah.